as it is into other supports, like it is into Leona. But they end up going for the Rakan, so big pick for Delight.
Yep.
But playing into the Talia, not a position I would personally say you can get the prime opportunity from Rakan, especially since there's a lot of hard CC.
Go for some grubs here as Kellen's going to make his way in. That's a flash,
Whoa.
But nothing else. As he's trampling, but otherwise not really finding anything there as the rocks go down. Seismic Shove going to push Peanut towards them. One grub already secured here as the wall is going to go down. And now Zeka going to get interrupted, so he does have to flash. No Realm Warp for you. So first grub does go over to HLE as Wind becomes Lightning and the grub becomes back in its house.
Like, gotta be careful. Oh, and Helen doesn't connect again.
Helen's doing some weird stuff this game. However, I guess grub advantage, as we say it, pops over the wall and is going to be able to take down the grubs.
Yeah, simple exchange.
Yep. That was only the first streak as well, so not exactly the earliest one. Snip, snip, goes Zeus. As Diablo just walks into the mist. It does get moved. Kellen being frustrating here.
Oh, TP coming in. They're looking for this.
All right. Seeing whether they can collect at least one of these grubs. On a ward is Raptor. That is 2 grubs picked up by Peanut, though. As now the Talia comes in, but HLE able to regroup. BNK, I don't think they're going to be able to get one of these. Kellen's going to move over. Raptor can actually get into position. Chains of Corruption comes down. Great flash from Delight as he does manage to get the quickness off. That is the secure as the Glacial Prison goes completely wide, and BNK now just want to get out of there. Zeka on a flank angle is pretty scary. And BNK are going to lose their piggy because of it. On the spot, but that ward has been shut down. Now Zeus just looking to deal with the minion wave. Delight with the quickness, trying to charm them all up underneath this turret as the teleport comes in. Zeus trying to keep himself alive and does so for a long time. Eventually does go down, but now HLE, can you find anyone? As Diablo's in trouble. And, ooh, not quite enough with that spell flux from Zeka. It's his turn to rotate over. Zeka and Delight still here towards the top side, but nothing they can do about this turret. As BNK continue to make the right moves around.
Find the upset. Top of Wild.
Ooh, really nice moves there from Clear. I don't know whether it's going to be enough, and in fact it's not. But the sidestep with the Ghost Blade movement speed, kind of cute. As BNK going to be trading it for the second dragon of the game, moving closer and closer to a Soul Point angle, as his Chemtech is going to go down. Next will be an Ocean, a little bit unfortunately.
Not what you'd be hoping for in this situation. The weakest soul left available, but, you know, it's not useless. You do have some tankier members who can get value from it. Definitely won't miss it if you are able to pick it up. But I just think it's... BNK FearX are in a good position, but I'm still worried.
Yeah, me too.
Zeus on Gwen, scary prospect.
I think the only thing that's sort of keeping me in it as far as like this Gwen is not going to be as much of a problem is that we just...
I think Claire is maybe dead. Nope, Raptor's here to cover him, but it still could be.
Yeah, this is going to throw out some needles towards him. Great Hammer going to boop him back, but there is the knock-up. Peanut setting up that Q very, very nicely, and Clear doesn't have a turret to run back to. As now Zeus wants to try and keep Raptor and Kellen away as Peanut and Delight get the work done. As the teleport does come in, oh no, Kellen, I think he might be just cooked. That's a triple knock-up with the Pulverize, and then he just gets turned into mincemeat. Down he goes, chopped up by the Gwen. The Diablo has gone north.
Oh, he is.
And now he's likely to be just dead. Chains of Corruption will get cleansed, and then his life will also get cleansed.
You know, sometimes you can just not click your button.
Over, still the Drake is going to be denied. HLE will lock down their first of the game. Probably the best of a bad situation here for BNK, though, being able to get the flash out of Zeka is certainly something.
You're poking and prodding down, forcing things like the Alistar ult without fully committing. It's just very difficult for BNK FearX to react to.
Getting softened up a little bit, but the piercing arrows don't hurt as much with this version of... Okay, never mind. Diablo immediately having to hold. Has a Seismic Shove onto Peanut. The Crescent Guard not quite working out there as he is taken down. The quickness doing some work as Diablo just getting cut up by this Gwen, and he will get shut down. Now Zeka fighting against a couple as Vikler and Kellen trying to keep him at bay, but it's Peanut and Viper on the floor, and the Weaver's Wall should be able to lock down Delight as well. BNK finding the team fight despite Diablo going down.
Yeah, managing to get on top of Viper, who, even despite having the flash, ends up going down. So we saw Zeus get a lot of value in the fight, but his team kind of fell apart. Zeka did just get the level up for the Rod of Ages. A lot of low health bars, but still not willing to take this encounter.
Oh, nice.
One goes down. BNK FearX able to pick this. Why not? I need to tell them.
Yeah. Raptor is going to get zoned a little bit here by Zeka, though, so that is just the Voracious Otacon taken. Clean. No worries. It was the right play.
We didn't say why not, and HLE, they got it done, so...
Oh, BNK were like, well, maybe we'll take an inner turret as our response.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. With it being Voracious Otacon, it's not so much about the Otacon itself, as it's what you can get with the buff. So far, a minion wave.
Ooh, Hex Splash. Going to get Kellen amongst it. Azeus in a bit of trouble, or is Diablo? And the answer is Diablo. Never mind, it's a beautiful seismic shove angle, and it doesn't matter at all because Gwen exists, ladies and gentlemen. The needlework is gorgeous. Raptor trying to get out of there, and this is absolutely ridiculous. Down to 6K already. Raptor trying to get in there, but the grand entrance has to be avoided. Zeka holds him in place, and there it goes. Headbutt pulverized there from Kellen. Let's see whether they can find something. Another double seismic shove, and another one that means nothing.
Just great use of the Realm Orb coming out from HLE right now. Dragon's being approached by BNK FearX, and they likely going to take that as a consolation prize. But we talked about, what are you getting for the Voracious Otacon? I think HLE can be pretty happy with what they managed to get there. Man, just great read in this situation. The Dragon would have been, I'm going to be honest, basically meaningless.
Yep.
A long way away from Soul still. If HLE would get it, it'd be mostly a denial from BNK FearX. The Baron take, very significant now, pushing down mid. That tower was already low.
Yeah, this one's going to go no matter what they do.
Yeah, goodbye.
So thankfully, BNK aren't going to invest too much in trying to defend that one, but can they keep their inner turret alive is the question, because with this Baron and the Voracious Otacon buff, HLE are so incredibly comfortable. Zeus in between turrets right now. Does go golden as they take down the turret. That's going to be their priority, is now Viper getting engaged on by Diablo. He supercharges into the backline. The knock up a little bit too late, but still, he goes down. Zeka finding a lot of damage, but Kellen not hit by the last.
Ocean Soul. Realm Orb coming in.
All right. Oh! Zeka just gets out of there, as now this could be a little bit of an awkward spot. Viper in the pit is a scary one, as Peanut just going in. Seismic shove is decent, and Vikla creates some space here as now the charm comes through. Zeka goes golden there as well, and it's Viper starting to pop off in the fight. He's down to 50% health, but I don't know whether he's under any threat. Now Zeka finding damage onto Diablo. The Rune Prison is out, and down he goes. Oh, never mind. That was actually just the Dragon. Diablo goes in, but he gets knocked up and destroyed. HLE, they leave the cow alive. And
that's game.
BNK cannot win the game.
They could just, surely they had the damage to end, but I'm just flabbergasted by the decision of Viper to take the Realm Orb into the middle of the enemy team. And then I think it just stunned BNK FearX. You just weren't ready to punish him, because why would you anticipate that? Why would you anticipate the enemy AD carry teleporting right into the middle of your team?
Yeah, there must be a reason. And as it turned out, there wasn't really one, as now Kellen gets grievous wounds onto HLE, and HLE responds by destroying his Nexus. It was definitely a lot closer than a lot of us would have expected, but HLE still going to come out on top in the end. And it's the Realm Warps, man! That Zeka could play here. It is going to be the Silas picked up, and so now he's got Fate's Call to get Peanut out of dodge. He's got Pop Blossom, which is one of the best. Chaos Storm, which is fine, and the Impale that we saw in the last series. Yes?
If he Fate's Call...
Find an avenue in, where he's continuing to fish. Oh wait, no, this
was on level 1.
The replay. Yeah.
This is so you know where the gold came from. This is thank you very much. So you can see the live evidence of the 3 gold.
Zeka just playing right on the edge, and he picks up first blood. How did that even happen? Look at Vikla's face. It's like, what the heck? It's not a dash, it is just a drive.
The Wall Slam was on cooldown already, so the Wall forced him away, and I think the big thing is how Zeka played it. Hit level 6 first, ulted to dodge a wave from that one.
All right, clear going in. Zeus with the answer immediately, as there's the flash in onto Vikla. Zeka gets on over. The gravity field not going to quite work, and even though Zeka hits the chain onto a minion, it doesn't matter because he closed the gap. And down goes the Victor one more time. Heal comes out from HLE, as now Viper is just shooting these arrows into Diablo. The flash after him, and he's got the bailout. He's definitely getting this kill. And now Kellen might be going down as well. He
just grabs Yul. He's like, oh yeah. And then immediately you're like, yeah, do we want to fight? Perhaps not. Perhaps we don't want to fight into that.
It is just going to be the Dragon secured. But absolutely no idea that the Skarner was here. Arrow just going to throw him underneath the turret. The Impale comes through, but The hostile takeover is already there. Delight trying to keep himself alive, but it's not going to work out as Viper at least softening them up a whole lot with this volley. And I don't think Peanut can actually stick around here, able to at least get one of these as Zeka is towards the bottom side of the map grabbing plates. And Delight goes down, but I think it was a noble sacrifice once again. Good down. And Kellen and Raptor will be able to grab the scraps here.
I mean, just a sneaky play from Raptor. You know, Peanut being on the top side, I think Viper and Delight felt very safe. In fairness to them.
And BNK just kind of flubbed that one, you could say.
Yeah, oh no.
Oh dear. Clear is dead, ladies and gentlemen. And there is no way for him to get out. That's going to spell the end of the turret. That's going to be some feats of strength going on over the HLE. Some upgraded shoes are going to be the least of BNK's worries, though, because Diablo is just going to get thrown into the wall and murdered.
Yeah, uses a cleanse as well. Avenue to get back to this game, but I guess you have to just play around picks. You know, you burn Viper's flash.
Oh, that's a flash in from Clear. He's going for it, but he will get stunned up again. The dash cannon is done. Zeus, oh, he was thinking about it. The flash! And he just kills him with a W. Oh, you do not challenge the God of Thunder on his champion of choice. Now this could be a pick-off onto Delight, but he actually finds the handshake. The immediate response is just gorgeous as Zeus doesn't really offer too much help. He gets the bailout, and let's see whether it's actually going to work out here as Peanut goes in, but it's not going to be enough. Kellen likely to go down, and he does. Still a good trade, though, as Diablo still hopping towards the Poppy. Two on the floor on both sides. Zeka now moving on up, and if you trade evenly, you trade up if you're losing. Oh, never mind. You don't trade evenly. There's the Fate's Call. That's going to pull back Peanut. As we know, it is off in the jungler as Diablo might actually get something done here. Okay, we're flashing, and Peanut is just dead.
I'm just so disappointed. Not with Peanut at the end. I think Zeus is dead now.
Okay.
Now?
There it is. Tanglebubs is going to hold him in place. He does have his ulti. Arrow is nailing down as well, and it's going to crash directly into Clear. He gets himself the counter-strike, but unfortunately, it's still going to be the end of the Jax. And Zeus, he's just back to farming. A little bit of spiraling perhaps happening, but there is a lot of craziness happening on this map as well. It's not a perfect game, you know? We're not having that conversation. BNK still able to grab 5 kills so far. Some fast and loose League of Legends, and no better Dragon Soul to augment it than the Hex Tech. And they kill him. That's the question. Pop Blossom is going to at least knock him up. There's the Impale connecting as well. He does manage to get the ulti off, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough to keep him alive. It will be in trade for this Ruinous Archon on the top side of the map, and the Rift Herald is going to be employed just to take this inner turret on the bottom side. That is a lot of extra money going over to BNK FearX.
I mean, I think it's the right play. I think you have to do something. You're not going to fight them at Archon, but this does not feel nice to give over the Ruinous Archon. When you're already down in experience...
Oh, we're driving. We're driving.
A little bit.
Oh, and he gets another charge. There we go. And that turret's going to go down. So that's 3 turrets.
Okay. Higher level.
There we go.
If
okay.
Nico pretends to be Zeka,
that's going to balance it out. Zeka is going to show how strong he is at level 15 by fighting Raptor momentarily, but he gets smashed into the wall. Fate's Call comes out here from Diablo just to keep him CC'd, and Zeka does go golden. Those sticks are getting dangerous as he does find himself an Impale, and he's got the bailout there as well. It will get procced as now Diablo's in trouble. He's taking so much damage, but he will actually keep himself alive. And now Vikla having to deal with Viper, throws down the gravity field, as now Clear will get the flash out from Viper, and BNK, they find the angle.
Yeah, but just clean with it. Kiting like an absolute beast. I was like, yeah, maybe the lethality cluster would have worked better. I take back what I said. He was so clean in that fight.
You really do need that Nexus to explode to really determine the end of a game. As we're fighting once again, Pop Blossom entirely whiffed there by Kellen. As the rest of HLE trying to get over here, but Peanut is just dead. He says, guys...
And then one Dragon from Soul. So...
Ow. All right, Viper not going to be able to sidestep that one, as Raptor pulls him in, and Diablo just dancing towards him. That's a dead Viper once again. So now a gold lead as well is so scary. Clear will be able to spot him out, but Zeus also spots out. What the heck was that? Okay, Zeus is terrifying. We knew that already. Let's see whether BNK can actually find a team fight that they can win. As there is the ulti that is going to get rid of the Kalista. She's not in the fight. Down goes Kellen. It is the Dragon secured by BNK. Viper is free hitting though. And now Vikla gets closed in on by Zeka. The flash over the wall, but the Q connects from Zeus, sorry.
Just space on the map. if you can kind of put BNK FearX into a position where they're cautious to leave their base, it can be devastating, but they're not even in position to defend.
Oh, Arrow is actually going to stop the back. And so now, Raptor is forced to stick around, or at least I think that was Raptor. It's kind of hard when there's a Nico on the map. As Kellen, he was actually there. He's looking for a flank angle as Raptor is now just going to waddle his way over.
Oh, TP's coming in.
Yeah. Can Kellen get this Pop Blossom to work out? He doesn't have flash. It's going to be hard. As now Raptor gets closed in on. There is just impales happening all over the place. A decent Pop Blossom does come on through as Diablo fighting against Zeus. Zeus goes golden, but Clear gets into position. There's the Mikhails onto the cannon. And now Diablo nowhere near. And Clear does not have the counter-strike. So it's a double kill to go over to Viper. And I think HLE have decided to stop with the weird play and decided to just win.
Seems like that's the way. There's a lot of wave clear from Vikla though. And Diablo being there as well is still a threat. We'll see what they can do, but this is a tall task, 2v5.
Yep, the Pierce is actually going to stop that one as Heroic Charge doesn't land. As far as the stun is concerned, another Fate's Call to come on through here as Zeko's trying to read the flash. Vikla is likely just dead as Viper's flash forward, and he picks up the kill onto Diablo. Kellen respawns, the Nexus turrets are going down, and HLE, oh man, it got a little bit weird in the middle there, but ultimately are able to get the 2-0 over BNK FearX and will end this round robin after a bit of time. We are just waiting. The minions have all been taken down. I was on a big old spiel. Finally, the Nexus does go down.
Here, what did?
Yeah, I mean, in the early game, I thought BNK was in a good position, but the game slowly goes on. HLE back on the track with their rotation in the mid game. I think that was the detail that I really want to look for, and we are going to break down in the highlights soon, yeah.
Also, there wasn't a whole lot of side lane pressure. I think that was the main problem for BNK later on. This Gwen got out of control, picked up so many of the kills, was too big in team fights, and leave her alone for just 1 second, and then the turret is gone, and they have a rise, so they can follow you, chase you when you try to punish the Gwen. It felt like that was really the crux of Hanwha Esports' win. I think without that side lane power, without Zeus having this kind of performance, they likely would have lost this game, but the Gwen was really the backbone here for the side of Hanwha Esports.
All right, well, let's get into highlight number 1 over at the Telestrator. What did?
We'll get on there.
Wolf, you know, when we think about that, in the draft, we saw the Jace immediately slammed was Gwen. Immediately slammed, and I mean, I think that paid off really big here.
Yeah, there were certain moments in the early mid-game where the Jace was ahead, but we'll talk more about that another time as it's time for some Telestration.
Yeah, here I just want to explain why getting priority in 2 lane priority in the same time is dangerous. So here, BNK is already getting mid prior with the Kaisa. You can see it in the mid lane, and with the Kellen helping, right? So this clearly gives HLE evidence that they have 2 mans on the mid lane. So you see the top lane here. They're kind of trying to get the top priority at the same time. So it's really clear that they have the man advantage on the top side. So it's really easy for them to pull the trigger. And Viper is in the safe position, which makes the play really clear enough. So we can say BNK was kind of greeding for the advantage that they have at this point, but this is really risky. So you can play the clip here, and you can see HLE has no hesitation because they already saw Alisa and Kaisa on the mid lane. They already knew that they have the man advantage on the top side, and I think from this play, they finally find out the way how to bounce back from the disadvantage from the early game.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of greed from BNK to try to grab prio in 2 lanes at once, because League of Legends is a tug-of-war game where you put a lot of emphasis in one lane, you're going to be weaker in another. Hanwha Esports has the strong side there in top. They're still contesting instead of backing away while trying to play for mid. Viper is Varus, so he can just kind of chill there and clear. It's going to be totally fine. So that was a big mistake there by BNK, but more so a fantastic punish by Hanwha.
Yeah, and I love that the breakdown here we did, because a lot of the time we talk about trading when it comes to objectives. This time it's lane pressure where you're allowed to play at, and it gets punished immediately by the reigning LCK champs, the reigning LCK Cup champs.
First stand.
Yeah, first stand champs.
Everything but Worlds.
Yeah, all the big orange there, the big orange tank. Let's take a look at this last fight though. This is crazy.
So this fight is really interesting. So they don't know where Zeus is. Okay, and then this Realm Warp comes through suddenly into the pit. There's not a commitment because Alistair's topside trying to watch the flank. to get in and try to get onto Viper. So he gets away with it. And as soon as BNK hesitate, that's when Zaya shows up on the Gwen. So you have this flanking Gwen, you have a Ryze on the top side of the fight, and you can't really move anywhere as BNK.
Yeah, I mean, if you're BNK side, you feel really safe at the beginning because you have the vision control on the laning brush and also the banana brush in the river. So I feel like you have the full control, but the good usage of Ryze ultimate changed everything.
Yeah.
And also the flanking from both top lane and mid lane.
It was the only way to approach the objective in a way that's advantageous.
Yeah.
You kind of skip all the gap. Like, that's the one gap. Every other gap, every other entrance is covered by BNK in this moment. The Realm Warp seems incredibly greedy, seems incredibly risky, but there's an element of surprise. There's that flanking Gwen that's super fed, and what looked like maybe a crazy,
it is.
Like actually almost suicidal play is actually the smart play.
I mean, that's why it's so shocking that maybe you lose the game out of it, right? With that Ryze ulti, you just send 3 people in the pit. It's like so insane, but you know what? HLE is so good at understanding what's going on the map, and that's why it made so damn good on that play.
Yeah, the battle lines are just so important to have, especially at the late game. The Diablo immediately got out once they're like, okay, well, that's a lot of their damage out. Let's go straight on in. Hanwha Life Esports always finds a way to play to the level of the opponent that they're playing at. BNK FearX, they're very similar to Nongshim. They're trying to find consistency. This young roster get punched in the face and lose game number 1. It is huge for them if they're able to bounce back and show some resilience here in game 2.
I mean, Vikla had an amazing game. I think this guy is way over-criticized. I think people are really looking at his performances before he returned to Korea, looking at his performance at the LCK Cup and not looking at who he is right now, as Talia looks really good. This team looks really strong playing around him. I feel like he's almost like budget closer right now. Like he's almost on closer's level, but he's actually pretty consistent at this moment in time. And I think that BNK do look like on their best games, on their best day like today, a team that could challenge for a Rise Group spot. It's just finding the ways to close those games out, how to fight through objectives that they haven't quite found yet.
I mean, the most important thing about this game is that they got the early advantage against HLE. So the one thing they missed is that getting the lane priority at the same time in 2 lanes, right? So I think if they just back to fundamentals and think about the basic stuff, then I think they have chance to win against the HLE.
And that's the fun thing with this squad, with I would say Nongshim as well, and core of Bro, but you can see how they do it. They're learning how to win. They're learning how to close it out. You could see the hands make sense. You could see the plays make sense. Even when Kellen misses a lot of his Alistar abilities early on in the game, he's still shepherding people outside of the Baron pit for the grubs. It works. But they need more than just that against Hanwha Life Esports. It's going to take closing the game out. Let's see if they're able to do that here in game number 2, or will Hanwha Life Esports close it out? Let's see.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the breakdown there of game number 1. Really glad that we got to see that last team fight as well, as Viper was sort of a little bit in danger and then was able to walk his way out. And I don't think anyone was expecting to see him there in time.
Yeah, I think they weren't ready for him, and I think he could have